I've had anxiety and depression issues for 12 years. I have this constant fear that someone around me might figure out what I'm really like and something catastrophic will happen to me. My depression stems off of the shame from having those fears and feeling like I'm wearing a mask all the time, like nobody really knows who I am. I hate myself for having these problems and for not being able to power through them. I started having these problems in junior high, and nobody really talked about mental illness back then. Nobody knew what to say when I would go to them for help, so I had to learn everything on my own. The worst part of that experience for me was being in that oblivion of what the hell's happening to me and how do I stop it. The responses I would get from other people were usually along the lines of power through it or you're crazy and you're going to get sent away for the rest of your life. I was told everything from how selfish I was to how weak I was, and none of that changed the problem. I thought at that point that I was beyond all hope and that I wasn't worth saving even if it were possible. My best advice to someone facing these issues comes in two parts. First of all, you can't expect perfection. You will make progress, but it will be difficult and slow, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's just the way it is. Secondly, do challenge yourself. Other people talk about stepping outside of your comfort zone, but people like me don't really get to have one. Don't let the anxiety drown you, because it will. I make myself go out to crowded places. Set reasonable goals for yourself, but remember that you won't succeed at them all the time. And that's not you being weak, that's just part of this process. It's not an easy fight. Now, depression is a whole other ballgame. Depression is like being in a fog and feeling like you'll never see the sunlight again. You don't want to do anything. You don't want to go anywhere. The two things that have been helpful for me, at least, have been to find an outlet and to find a distraction. You're not going to talk yourself out of it. I keep the whiniest diary in the history of forever. Getting my thoughts on paper gets them out of my head. Having some sort of distraction is a big help for me. Taking the dog out for an extra long walk. Build a model Titanic. Clean everything. It takes you out of that fog for a minute. The second hardest thing for me was accepting that this wasn't my fault. Things happened in my life that caused me to have these feelings. To be this paranoid about what seems to others to be strange, and there's really nothing that I can do about that. I can't just wake up one day and be normal. No matter whether people around me approve of it or not, all I can do is try like hell to fight back at it, and I've been able to make some progress that way.